What's happening, everybody, man? Look, we got to talk about some stuff tonight, man. We got me and Dave on here. Y'all know us, man. SKOL'd Live, bringing it to you right and direct in your face. But before that, man, we got to get into our intro, man. We'll be right back. Let's go. So, man, everybody, man, we got a couple guests that are supposed to tap in with us tonight. We'll wait until they get into the building, but we're not gonna wait on them to start the show. That's a fact. We not doing that because we got to get right up into this. We're gonna touch like I got in the title, man. Appreciate everybody that's tapping in, man. We got 12 people in the building. This show might get a little spicy, but it's okay, man. You know, it's okay. Have your drink ready. We're gonna touch on this game briefly, the game from last night, because as all of us wants to, you know, we all want to forget about this game and move on to the Lions, and we will do that tonight because y'all ain't gonna see us again until after the Lions game. So we want to touch on the Lions a little bit, but let's talk about last night for 1 second. All right, so we'll start like this. I'll ask you, Dave, because you can just start off. What did you see last night? Because I got on with Tyler Bean last night. Shout out to him. We came on the Purple Code and did a post-game show together last night for about 30 minutes. It was fun. But what did you see, man?
I seen a pretty poor game plan on defense. That's put us in a hole right away. I mean, we were down 7-0 after the first quarter, so it's not like they blew out to this 3-touchdown lead in the first quarter. Then we gave up that second touchdown, and then we had a nice drive, man. We marched the field 6 for 6 for passes, scored a touchdown. Irv Smith is alive, and then we gave up another shell defense touchdown to go 21-7. But I just did a video and I rewatched the game, so you didn't have to. And the one of the optimistic takeaways from it is I don't think there was a moment that any of these players gave up. I really did. I mean, we gave up no points in the second half. We blocked a kick. Our special teams played great the entire game. It's just missed opportunities. It's like the Eagles wanted us to come back into that game, and right when Irv Smith Jr. dropped that ball, we could have went into that half potentially 21-14 with the ball. And what did we do when we came out of the half? We drove down the field, and it's pretty, and you want Cousins to take chances. I think that throw is a tight one, but Jefferson needs to cross his face. Worst case scenario, if he crosses his face, it's either pass interference or Slay makes a play, knocks it down. We stall, we kick a field goal. So there was that 3-play drive area where we could have came completely back on the Eagles. We missed those opportunities, and that's stuff we got to clean up in the future. There were 6 or 7 drops in that game. Now, some of those drops, we ended up getting first down anyways, so it didn't hurt us. But it's discouraging when you see everybody's, our running backs dropped 3 balls. Munt dropped a ball. Irv Smith Jr. dropped a ball. It gets a little frustrating. It's like a snowball effect after that Irv Smith Jr. drop. And then the defense still played the same way the whole game. They didn't give up any points the second half, but was it Eagles? Now the Eagles still threw the ball. They still, he was still running the ball as a quarterback. They were still playing their offense, but how much of it was, hey, I'm not going to get too creative on the offensive play calling. Let's run the ball a little more. My biggest concern is our run defense coming out of that game. We got manhandled on the offensive line. Did not look good. Yeah. And late in the game, they were blitzing us with like 6, and Kirk Cousins throwing off his back foot, underthrows it on 2 consecutive plays. That both could have been picks, and one ended up being a pick by Slay.
Yeah.
He could have thrown it in the corner a lot deeper, but he's got a guy to about smoke him. We didn't have a hot read on we stopped having hot reads. I think we were going 4 or 5 wide even. We were still trying to score the whole second half. So I take away from that these guys didn't give up. Viking fans shouldn't either. In the offseason, I said 12-5. I counted this one as a loss. I felt more optimistic about it, but we should feel pretty good with this team that we're 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
I will be worried after the Lions game. If we lose a home game against the Lions, then be worried. But right now, I'm not.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, before I do my take, man, let's go ahead and shout out these sponsors, man. Rinaldi's Pizza. Y'all make sure y'all go to Rinaldi's Pizza, man. Get your pizza, your wings, your breadsticks, everything, man. Eat that food because that food is good. You hear me? So shout out Rinaldi's, man, for being one of the sponsors, man, for sure. When I get up to Minnesota, I'm going there to eat. You hear me? And then we got Nautical Bowls. Shout out Nautical Bowls. Y'all want them healthy bowls? Tap in with them. Tell them R.A. Peasy sent you there. You hear me? Because, man, I heard it's good, man. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm skinny enough, so, I don't really need to, be that healthy. Well, I guess I can still be, but, yeah. Yeah, shout out to the sponsors, man, for sure. You know what I mean? But let's get back to this. Let me we got our boy Justin in the building. Let me add him onto the stream. What's going on, Justin, man? How you doing? Hold on. Let me rotate you guys real quick.
Kirk Cousins burners in the house. Man, Kirk, you let us down a little bit.
All right, so let me yeah, man, shout out Justin in the building, man. Justin, y'all know him from A Day with Justin and Kyla. They shoot on, you do Mondays, I believe, right? Is it Mondays or Wednesdays?
Yeah, A Day with Mike and Kyla.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is 6:30 to 7:15 Central Time, so right up into Monday Night Football. Last night, obviously, we were the pregame, but that's where we're going to be most. That's where we're going to be this season. So
facts. Yeah, I'll make sure I tap in. But Dave just gave his take on the game last night and what he saw, man. But now that you in the building, Justin, man, go ahead and give us like the overall of what you see last night. How do you feel the day after? You know what I mean? Like, let talk to us, man.
What I saw was this team is still so mentally weak that when they get punched in the mouth, they don't have the ability to take, okay, we lost round 1, we got beat up. We lost round 2. Okay, now it's round 3, and we're going to come back and punch you back. This team has not had that basically since 2009,
Right.
And we all know the real reason as to why this team had that fight back ability to it. But to me, it was just an old-fashioned butt kicking because Philadelphia, I know that there was a lot of people wondering why is Philadelphia getting so much hype. Well, I think we saw it last night because both their offense and defensive lines are stout. And I'm going to say this right now. We all love the players that we've had, particularly on defense for the last 5 to 7 years. Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks. Those guys look slow. They looked really slow to me. And so where I'm concerned about this, and again, we all know that the offense is supposed to be the stronger suit and that the defense we're just hoping can hang on for dear life. But some of those older, Patrick Peterson, another one, I know he got the block punt, but those guys just slow. If we're going to face a team with speed offensively, then our defense is going to be in for a road to hurt. I mean, not to get too far ahead, but I'm not looking forward to that Miami game. We saw what Tua and the company did just in that fourth quarter alone, and I'm looking at our defense trying to figure out how in the world we're going to slow them down. But as far as last night goes, it was a total team failure. And, it's easy to pick on one entity or another. What I find interesting about Vikings Nation is we're so polarized, and it's like, we only can blame one entity. It can only be the defense, or it can only be Kirk Cousins, and it can only be the coaching staff. It's like, you know what? There is a lot of blame to go around. So let's stop pretending that it's one entity and not all of them. That's my biggest takeaway is they all look terrible last night. It's as simple as that.
Facts, man. Good take, man. Hey, first, man, shout out everybody in the chat. Shout out Kirk in the chat, man. Kirk Cousins actually in the chat with us, man. Y'all boy give Kirk Cousins a round of applause, man. Andrew Spencer in the chat, man. Samuel McLeay, Lucas, man. What's up? Toy Box Cole, how you doing? Appreciate y'all tapping in. My boy Eli SK in the building. Man, we got Super Will with us. You know, hey, he a Purple Gang member, man, off of Purple Pocket Podcast, man. Y'all make sure y'all go sub over there, man. We got him with us. I told him this morning, man, he got to come on. We got to hear about what he talking about. Because you've been missing low key, Super Will, man. You've been ducked off.
Man,
What going on, man? Talk to us, man. How you feel a day after, man? Tell me what you seen last night.
man, I've been actually working for a few days, working at this factory. My boss asked me to come in 4 a.m, for a while. So I've been, out of it. But I still been watching the show. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Purple Hope Dave. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice seeing you, man.
Man. And so, but anyway, that game, man, I will say that Justin Jefferson, there were 2 plays where Kirk tried to throw it to him in the end zone. And I think that Jefferson was trying to come back, but when Kirk threw the ball, he was like, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a miscommunication with that part.
Right.
And I think Jefferson was trying to be too nice. You know what I'm saying? Too nice with the plays and stuff like that, trying to run routes. And I'm like, you really can't do that. But if he would have, in that far back corner, would have come straight back a little bit further, Kirk would have threw that ball, probably to where he could catch it. And Kirk can do that. Yeah. He can do that. But it's just that when you seen that play or whatever, I was like, what is going on with y'all? We had way too many chances to beat them. Way too many. And Detroit ain't going to have mercy on us. They gonna be like, this is the opportunity.
Hey, and we gonna tap into Detroit. We definitely gonna get into that. We gonna get into that. Super well. Yeah. Don't get too deep into Detroit. We gonna talk about it briefly.
But that game was awful. And Dalvin, bro, how Kirk have more rushing yards than you?
Yeah,
that don't make sense.
Yeah, that is sad. So I'm gonna put it like this, man. I'm gonna give my take now, right? So my take is this, all right? Y'all know how I feel about Kirk Cousins, but I don't care. I'm blaming him. You know what I mean? I'm blaming him for most of it, because he played a horrible game. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The defense, the play calling, all of it was bad, but he was just horrible to me. You know what I mean? Like you can't play a game like that, man. There's no excuses for that. I look around the NFL and I watch other quarterbacks and I see them overcome these type of games, and this worries me because if this was a playoff game, it's like, okay, his record's 2-10 now and under the bright lights, and we can say, hey, out of all these 12 games, it's always the defense, it's always the play calling, it's always that. But look here, eventually, man, you're gonna have to overcome that adversity, man. I don't care, man. I'm tired of blaming everything else except for him, and that's why a while ago I did a video saying, is Kirk Cousins going to take the blame? Because if we make it to the play, it reminded me of the San Fran game. It just reminds me of the games under pressure. And he has one game, the New Orleans game, and we give him his props for that. We can talk about the New Orleans game for the next 2-3 years. He has one game where he did his thing. You feel me? And Kurt, you in the chat, man, you better do better, bro. Because if I come up to Minnesota, I'm gonna find you, boy. But I just look at him as a quarterback, and this was my question earlier. And Justin, you were actually in the Purple Code group chat, man, when we were talking about it. And I asked this question, and I want everybody in the chat to answer this question as well. I said, is it time to move forward with how the landscape of the NFL? Now, I'm okay with Kurt this year. I still believe Kurt's gonna ball out this year. I know last night isn't gonna dictate the whole season. We know Kirk Cousins is gonna show up. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen. We know this. I'm not saying that he's just gonna be a bottom barrel quarterback the rest of the season because of last night. But is it time to find our guy to get this dual threat quarterback? You know what I mean? And I'll go around and ask everybody, because if you look at the landscape of the NFL, I mean, look at the quarterbacks that are winning. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really, I mean, it's right in our face. You know what I mean? The young offensive-minded coach and then the dual threat quarterbacks. Those are the teams that are at the top. You know, that is what the trend is. So how do you feel about it, Dave? We'll let you go first. Do you think that's a idea, or do you think we should just ride it out with Kurt until we get us a ring?
If you're talking about drafting a young quarterback, yeah, you can always draft a young quarterback. Hurt was a second-round pick, so there's no lock on drafting a quarterback. And if you look at you look at the two quarterbacks that played in the Super Bowl last year, you're not going to refer to them as dual threat quarterbacks. You're going to probably refer to them as pocket passers. So there is still plenty of life left in pocket passers in this league. And you look at a Herbert, and, you know, the one guy that really stands, you know, out to me right now, and if you believe in Hurts, it'd be like Hurts and you know, that guy over there in Buffalo.
Josh,
they both, they both can do it all. So right now, you know, what I always worry about is the shelf life of a dual threat quarterback, because, you know, Cousins took over a starting job in Washington with the #1 draft, a top draft pick that was a dual threat quarterback that really stuck it to us one game. And he lasted, I don't know, 3 years as a starter, 4 or 5 in the league. So I worry about the shelf life with the dual threat quarterback. That dual threat, he better be very good at passing. That's what I'm saying. Because if the legs go, we had one, man. We had Dante Culpepper.
Yeah.
What happened? I mean, he left us and played 3 more games in his career.
Yeah.
And Stafford came in with a broken arm, damn near broken shoulder in his rookie year, and they pulled Culpepper off the field so Stafford could throw one more play to win that game. So I mean, we've seen it, we've had it. I just worry about the shelf life of a dual threat quarterback. He better be very good at passing. And if anybody's going to say Pat Mahomes is a dual threat quarterback, he has the same 40 time as Peyton Manning. So he's mobile. He's mobile. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's a younger Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but I mean, you definitely got to consider that as dual threat, because Mahomes picks up a lot of 3rd and longs with his legs, though. You know what I'm saying? Like he does. If you watch him play, bro, like
and so does Rodgers. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I think Rodgers is a little faster. I think he's a little faster because and Rodgers used to run a lot. He used to run a lot on us.
Yeah. But you know, my thing, I know Dave's talking about the shelf life, but I look at it like this: we only need 1 year to win a Super Bowl. You feel me? Like, yeah, their shelf life might be short, but we only need 1 year. You know what I'm saying? You can't win a Super Bowl. Hey, I ain't trying to win every year. Shit, just give me 1. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Joe Flacco, he ain't even a mobile quarterback, and he won.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in today's NFL too, though. You know,
right,
like the past couple of years. Now I know Dave said like last year it was Stafford and Burrow, but Burrow's pretty mobile though. Like, he's still. I mean, it's hard to say he's a pocket quarterback. He's really good in the pocket, but he also extends plays though. He's really good at extending plays. Like when the play breaks down, like that's where he makes his money. You know what I'm saying? Bombing it down to Jamar Chase, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. He's just big at things. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
So knowing that Lamar Jackson is leaving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were going to get on that.
Do you feel like we kind of jumped the gun a lot when it comes to signing like players and stuff, and then the next year the best player comes available that we will want or need, like Brady comes available when we sign Kirk, and then you know, and I think about that all the time, like, why? We should have just took the cap hit.
Yeah.
We should have just took the cap hit.
How you feel about that, Justin, man? I'll let you go. Just answer that.
Well, there's a whole lot of things to unpack there. First off, I don't know that it's more about the mobile quarterback as it is roster construction. And so here's the thing. You have to hit particularly at the quarterback position, but there's other key spots there too.
Yeah.
When you get value of a top 15 quarterback or better when they're on their rookie contract, okay, that allows you to spend money at other positions.
Right.
Jalen Hurts right now is making what, 1.5 million?
Yep.
Cousins making 40. So I'm not going to get into the debate of which one's better straight up. But if you think that Kirk Cousins at 40 is a better value than Jalen Hurts at 1.5, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
okay?
that's a fact.
So to me, I don't know if, like, for example, let's go back in history a little bit here, just the last 7 years. 2016, Matt Ryan is an MVP and is within an eyelash, gets to the Super Bowl and almost wins it. Okay. Yeah. Now, Matt Ryan was not under a rookie contract, but he also wasn't under a $40 million contract either. He was kind of in the middle.
Right.
Okay. So, and Julio Jones was still on his rookie. So Atlanta could build up around him. 2017, look at what Philadelphia had. They had Carson Wentz pre-injury now on a rookie contract. That's how that team got built up so much that Nick Foles could come in and still just drive that car. Right. 2018, Jared Goff, rookie contract, Rams in the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't rookie, but not humongous either. 2019. So it's not that you can't, win once these quarterbacks are off their rookie contracts and getting to market value. But let's look at the Dallas Cowboys before and after Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott signed their big money. They had all kinds of other roster depth and other players because they could afford to spend it on them. So, yeah, Joe Burrow right now is probably the best value. Not so much the best quarterback, but the best value as far as how much am I bringing to my team versus how much I'm costing. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are the two best quarterbacks, and you're not going to say that they're not bringing enough to their team to justify their cap hits. But I'm just saying from a straight up value standpoint. So to me, I don't know if it's about mobile quarterbacks as much as it is when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, you can build your team around it. So once you get a quarterback to your market value, then you've got a 1 or 2 year window. I said this going into the season last year. The Rams, when they switched from Goff to Matt Stafford is one of the same kind of guys that Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins, etc. But they already had that team built. See, that's what the Vikings were banking on in 2018. We've got this roster built. Let's take our shot. Okay. When you take a shot on a guy like that, and there's like 8 or 9 guys, so I'm not singling Kirk Cousins out here, ladies and gentlemen, but when you have a guy making $40 million, unless he's elite, yeah, he can be very, very good. But if he's not elite, then you've got 1 or 2 years before your cap hits starting. I mean, look at the Vikings salary cap heck that they've been in the last 2 years. Is that all on Kirk? No, it's not all on Kirk. But the point I'm making here is what you got to do is Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers won their Super Bowls when they were on their rookie contracts. Okay? And we put them as top 5 quarterbacks over the last 5-6 years. But they didn't win any Super Bowls once they got their money. So, and again, granted, there's a lot of quarterbacks that fit that description that didn't win their Super Bowl because of Tom Brady. So let's just keep that in mind.
And I mean, Stafford won his Super Bowl last year with a big contract too. So it's still possible. It's still possible.
Yes, but
not just a big contract. They were still cap hit from Goff. They had over $50 million, close to $60 million tied into the quarterback position. And won that Super Bowl. So, I mean, it can happen.
It's less likely, but it can happen.
50, so, it's like crazy. Though. 50, 60
I get what
million.
you're saying, Justin, though, for sure.
Yeah, so Stafford last year had a cap hit of $24 million. So that doesn't count because you're right that Jared Goff had like a dead cap hit of like 20-25.
So and then they had a backup quarterback. So,
But my point is this. Okay. What's going to happen next year when all of those Rams superstars are going to get their money? Guess what? They're going to lose other pieces. That's what happened to the Vikings. They started losing pieces because they took their shot. I'm never going to tell them, hey, you made a mistake getting Cousins. No, you had a shot, you took it, and it just didn't work out. So, but that's the fun part of it is like, how do you time it right? To your point, Super Will, yeah, they always seem to be 1 year off, whether it's signing and a good to great quarterback to elevate your team, or whether it's, well, if this is the year that we would have had an off year and had a top 10 pick, we could have got this quarterback, that quarterback. So that's what it is to be a Vikings fan. They're always just slightly off one way or the other about any type of subject. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And the biggest question is how many years are we gonna experiment with Kurt? You know, because he's not getting any younger either. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so
I think it's just this year and next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he signed this year and next year. You know, it's just, and that's a big question too. Is, you know, and mind you, chat, we believe that Kurt will do his thing this year. We're just talking future, like, because, you know, I just wanted to, after a game last night, it's good to talk about things like this. You know what I mean? Just so, because we played against a young quarterback that's on his rookie contract, like we were saying, and it's just seeming like that's the trend, that these teams are becoming the better teams in the NFL in today's NFL. You know, those type of quarterbacks just seem to be at the top, you know, more or less than none. You got your couple sprinkled in there, of course. But I mean, Herbert is a mobile quarterback too, bro. Herbert moves around, you know, it's more, and I'm not saying you got to be Lamar Jackson to be considered a mobile quarterback. I'm just saying you extend plays. You know, you're an improviser. You know, Kurt's not an improviser. He might can do a play action. Yeah, but that's not improvising. You know, I'm talking about the plays broken down and he's running around and throwing on the run and making it happen more often than none. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just think we need to make that change eventually. Like, I don't want to keep giving Kirk these 1 year, hoping that, okay, the rest of the team has to be good. If not, then, you know, we're never going to make it. You know, it's just,
that's the thing about Cousins. And he's as good as what's around him, as are a lot of the other guys that I mentioned and a handful more that I didn't. Right. You put Kirk Cousins on the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's not going to take the Jaguars from a 3-win team to a 9 or 10-win team. He's just not.
Oh, hell no.
Now, you put Kirk Cousins on, you know, a 13-win team like the 18 Rams, like the 1949ers, like last year's Rams. Listen, he absolutely can be a guy that drives the car, but he's a product of what's around him. You put him on a great team. Of course, you could say that about 8 different quarterbacks. You know, you put them on a great team, they could probably drive the car. So it's not really a rip on Kirk, so as like it is
Stafford.
Stafford. I mean, I would take Stafford slightly over Cousins, but it isn't by much, because what I've always said on our show, and even back early in the spring when we first got on here before you guys did.
Hey, Dave's not liking this, bro. Y'all talking about Kurt, but he over there. He ready to pop off on you, Justin. Boy. He can't wait to get in. He can't wait to get in on you, boy.
Oh, well, you know, Dave and I we did one a couple weeks ago. What I was going to say though is this: to me, when you look at all those guys I just mentioned,
right,
every one of them's got a different range of outcomes. Okay. Kirk Cousins is the steady train where his range of outcomes is pretty narrow. He's got a low ceiling, but he has a high floor. Okay. Yeah. You take some of those other guys and they're roller coasters. You've got a much higher ceiling, but you also have a much lower floor, where they could probably give you a little bit more in certain situations, but they could also give you a lot less in other ones. So the question becomes, do you want a guy that might make some dumb plays, but also might make a crazy play? Or do you want a guy that's just going to be consistent? Listen, there was a comment earlier. Kirk Cousins is going to get his 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns because.
But real quick, Justin. But Kirk Cousins is consistently not winning in games that matter, though. That's what the problem is. That's where the issue is.
His fire is not high.
Yeah, like he crumbles. The narrative on him is he crumbles under pressure, and and that's a fact.
Got a question. Did that game matter last night?
No.
Yes.
I mean, it did. I mean,
the Packer game matter?
Yes.
Yeah. The NFL games, man, they all matter.
Nah, but you know what we mean.
We got a 4-3-1 quarterback against the Packers.
Come on,
4-3-1.
The preseason game matters too. You know what I mean?
No, actually, preseasons don't matter at all. We're 0-3 in preseason. Hey guys, I mean, I honestly I didn't expect this show to be a Kirk Cousins.
No, we're gonna get off of it.
Right,
a rehash of off season, man. I mean,
all I'm gonna say is this.
I think all of us probably picked a winning season this year, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And when I did my 12-5, I had us losing to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so we're not too sad.
We had the same quarterback when I predicted it as we do now. I mean,
but that I mean, and like I said, we'll get off of Kurt, but just because we have the same quarterback doesn't mean like we should keep moving forward in the future with Kurt. That's all we're saying too. Like we're saying that just like we wanted to switch from an old-minded defensive head coach and get an offensive-minded head coach, a younger offensive-minded head coach. Well, it's the same philosophy with quarterbacks. It's like, all right, look how the NFL is today. What should we do? What's trending? Should we get, and most of the guys that are going to come in the draft next year are all of what I'm talking about. All the college
and
quarterbacks
honestly,
that are
even with the
coming in
loss,
draft
I'm
today.
liking what I'm seeing. I saw 18 seconds left on the play clock when we were getting on the line of scrimmage last night. We were still trying to score. So I'm liking the fact that I didn't see our coach giving up. I didn't see us getting in the huddle, getting up there with 5 seconds left when we were down by 20.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, even with the loss KOC. I think the adjustments he can make. I was like, why aren't we doing that long motion like we were doing with Jefferson? We're doing short motion, keeping him on the same side of the field. We weren't doing it like we were against the Packers. I think those are adjustments we can make. And we're getting up to the line with 15 freaking seconds. This is like a freaking Christmas for me to watch us make adjustments.
Look at Kurt. I always got to do this because Kurt, he always puts this shit up. every time Dave talks about it, he always says, thank you for me.
Well, let me address Dave's last point here because he does make a good point. It is just one game. To me, if they had lost last night like 31-28, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, but they weren't even competitive.
Oh, now, they got smacked.
That's why I'm a little less inclined to completely come over to your side on that, Dave. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not on his side. I'm optimistically talking about KOC and what my comment was about KOC.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not. I'm just saying when you're talking about which games are important, that sort of thing.
I'll ride your meat later.
So,
go ahead.
The defense, though, but.
Well, hold on, Will.
We can't talk about the defense. We're blaming Kirk right now.
Now, hold on, Will. Real quick, I want Justin. Let Justin finish his thing before, and then hey, Justin, you're closing out this Kirk conversation, this QB conversation. So say what you're gonna say, and then we'll move on from that. You know what I'm saying? Because Dave's getting mad. We're talking about his boy. He hates
right.
that.
No, I'm gonna say it like this. I believe Kirk Cousins is somewhere between 12 and 14. On a planet that has 7 billion people. So if anybody's going to come at me and say that I'm a Kirk Cousins hater, it's ridiculous. I'm a truther. Yeah. I don't think he's as bad as the haters say. I don't think he's as great as the stands say. I think he's a good, not great quarterback. And is last night's defeat all on him? No. Does he get absolved from any blame? No. To your point, Dave, there were some of the calls and motions
of
the first week's game last night, but he didn't either have, and I'm going to say this, the offensive line was not that bad. He just got gun shy. He would be looking right at an open Jefferson and he'd hesitate and then he'd throw it to Madison. It's like the dude is wide open.
Yeah.
It's okay if you take a shot. And then on the next play, he's forcing it to him. So I don't know. I agree with what you're saying, though. Seeing KOC is a breath of fresh air versus the 1985 Mike Zimmer team. So I'll give you that. And I'm just saying that to me, it's so ridiculous that, like I said, there's a faction that will not take any blame on him, and there's a faction that will not give him any praise whatsoever. And it's just crazy.
And that's how it is. And that's a fact. Now we'll move off of Kurt, man. Let's get on Super Will. What you got to say about the defense, man? What are you talking about the defense, man? Because there's a bright spot in the defense that I like. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Daniil Hunter was very quiet.
Yeah, he was.
That night. Yeah. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, everybody else is doing something, but he's relaxing. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. He was
like, is he injured or what? What's the deal?
I think what it was too, and Dave can touch on this as well. I just think they dominated us in the trenches, man. Their offensive line just pretty much just said, you know what, you guys aren't touching my quarterback, and we're gonna smash you guys tonight, and that's just what it's going for. And they were the better men, man. That's just what it came down to. Now I expected Daniil Hunter to overcome that adversity. But man, shout out DJ Wanham though, man. Like I'm dedicating a video tomorrow to DJ Wanham, man. DJ Wanham's he's a player, bro. Like I just want to give him his flowers right now while we're talking about defense, man, because this kid has gotten better every year, and I think he's a future player for the Minnesota Vikings, man. I really do. Like, I really think DJ Wanham will sign a big contract one day and make something happen. But what about my boy Cam Dantzler, though? Like, he was the only player that seemed like he wanted to play football last night. Yep. I mean, was I the only one that seen that or what?
No. He was the only person that could come up and actually tackle Jalen Hurts past the line of scrimmage.
I'm telling you.
It was ridiculous.
And you see him, and did you see him like going for the ball? That's what I love about Cameron Dancer. And I was on a stream earlier and they were saying, you know what? Cameron Dancer would be a great safety, like a great free safety too, because he's an opportunist, man. This man is always trying to get the ball out. Like, it's just a fact, but he also makes sure he gets the tackle too. So it would be different if he always went for the ball, but was missing a ton of tackles. But he's a solid tackler, man. He's been known to be a solid tackler in college. And now he's always trying to rip the ball out, man. I seen a play last night where I think Devontae caught it or Goddard caught it, somebody, and you know, he helped with the tackle, but he was also, while he was tackling, I mean, he's trying to poke that ball out while the guy's going down. And he's done that before last year, causing fumbles. He's just known, man. I love him, man. He's an opportunist, and I'm telling you, he's taking his step, man. You know, last night was a hard game to judge him because he was one of the few bright spots, but we're going to be surprised with Cam Dancer, man. Who'd you see on defense, Dave, that you like?
Well, I still like the mindset you brought up that we're going for the ball, and even though, like you said, you're talking about him getting the tackle also. Right. Cameron Bynum gave up that, you know, was being dragged in that touchdown, but if you will see, he was ripping at the ball when he did it. Yeah. I like the risk of them having 1st and 4 or Cameron Bynum stripping the ball. I did go back and look at the game. I think you guys are a little hard on Danielle Hunter. He had a sack, and he also smoked Hurts on a play, on a stunt. And he got to the quarterback a step late a couple of times.
I think we just have high expectations. Dave.
I think Zadarius Smith was nowhere to be seen. Yeah. And I think Tomlinson and Harrison Phillips were getting manhandled on the run game. Yeah. Our whole defensive line were getting manhandled in the run game.
Right.
And they weren't doing the same thing they were doing against the Packers. Yeah. Even though the Packers got, gashed us a little bit. But they had these wide ass running lanes. We had 4 guys on the line. I forget who would be on the Danielle Hunter was usually on the left. Mm-hmm. And they went up the field and they just went, they went by and then they just gashed us up the middle on a couple of run plays late in the game. Yeah. I don't know what was happening there, but honestly, Danielle Hunter, he got to the quarterback a step late, but he also got a sack. Wanham, however, I do agree that would be a guy I'd say who stepped up pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't remember Peterson getting burnt at all in this last game, so I think maybe he stepped up a little bit. They didn't go to him. They went to Dancer's
I'm gonna tell you though, real quick,
Dave. Went to Dancer's
I ain't gonna lie,
right?
Dave, man. Peterson's making me a little nervous though, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else feels the same, man. But look, Miami is going. Tyreek Hill and Waddle are gonna literally catch 1,000 yards combined on Patrick Peters. It's gonna get bad. This
Stephon Diggs too.
Oh,
Stephon Diggs too.
And you know who else made a good point? And then I'll let Justin go and Will go on speaking on the defense though, man. I don't know if it's just me, man, but this new defense that we're running, is it me or our linebackers now? And we're not trying to judge. It's hard not to. I'm trying not to judge it off of just last night, because Eric Kendricks, for one, is one of my favorite Vikings of all time. I love Eric Kendricks, man. I just think he's a baller, but. Age is getting up there, man. I just feel like our defense is a little too slow for what we're trying to do. Last night showed it, and I think teams, now that they have film, it seems like the game plan against our defense would be kind of easy. I feel like I can come up with a good game plan against the scheme we're running with the linebackers we have, because they're not really fast. I think also Moa needs to get in on the field. I think he needs to get on the field some way, somehow, a little bit more. They need to figure out a way to put him in there to guard wide receivers, because there was a play last night where they had DJ Wanham guarding Devontae Smith. Did y'all? What kind of play draw up was that? I was
the same kind of play we were doing against the Packers last week when their outside linebacker was guarding Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but there was no motion or anything. No, it was just one.
If there was no motion, what quarter is? I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah, it wasn't too late in the game. It was and whoever was, I forget who was calling the game last night. We were watching because we were on the stream, but they called it out. They're like, "Yo, you got DJ Wanham on."
Yeah, that kind of shit that can't happen.
But yeah, man. But go ahead, Justin. Well, actually, we'll go to you though. Like, what'd you see in the defense? I mean, you brought up the defense. You got us rolling, man. What'd you see? Like, what did anything excite you? Did things have you worried? Like, are you worried about moving forward?
Get rid of Cam Bonham, man. He gotta go.
Man, you gonna give up on him after one game?
Bro, he gotta go, bro. He ain't did nothing else.
He
bro,
did have
I'm
a bad
serious.
game.
Like, they need to go ahead with Lewisine in there and see what the kid got, man. Because after last night, it looked like him and Harrison Smith was confused about everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, are you kidding me?
They did. You got a good point. They were seeming off. And we know for sure it's not Harrison Smith because he
because he was covering, I think it's like the left side.
Yeah. You talking about the touchdown?
Yeah, that touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why Bynum broke on the tight end doing an out route.
Mm-hmm. That was the dumbest.
And let the inside receiver just go run.
And the receiver didn't even have to make a move. Yeah, he just
didn't even no double move, nothing. He just ran straight up the middle.
I mean, because you're supposed to get as a safety, you are supposed to get the back. I mean,
Dantzler let him go. Yeah, Dantzler let him go, and then Bynum for some reason hit the out route. Yeah. I think Dantzler was letting him go. That's got to be what was supposed to happen. I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah. They probably was playing cover 2.
Yeah.
And I guess Cam just was like, "Oh, I'm just going to come down because the tight end."
I mean, he hit wrong. He did a wrong read.
It's like he thought
he shouldn't have never.
It's like he thought Dantzler was going to continue down the field with him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, blown coverage, man. Mental mistake. He made a mental mistake. It just is what it is.
Who knows if that was the strategy? Donatel, what the f with that? But it looked like Bynum didn't, do his job on that one.
What you thinking, Justin?
Well, it goes back to what I started off with defensively when I was telling you they just look slow. I mean, that's spot on to what I was saying right off the bat.
Do you think it's age? Do you think it's the age that we have in certain positions? Or
those are like a 2 and a 3-year-old player.
No, we're talking about the whole defense. We're talking about the whole defense, though.
No, in general, I mean, listen, like you said, Eric Hendricks has been a stalwart member of this defense. And the question became, how would he adapt to the 3-4 when, let's call it a spade? Most linebackers that are great are because they have, a fat guy or two taking up blockers ahead of them, Yeah. So, Harrison Smith looks slow to me. Hendricks looks slow to me. But to your point, Dave, about the defensive line, I am trying to not just give them a pass, but I'm trying to see, okay, when you're playing such a soft shell of a defense beyond the defensive line with the linebackers in the secondary, where you can just run crossing patterns all night, you can run slants all night. I don't know that the defensive line really had much of a chance to do anything because the secondary is just giving up 10-yard, 12-yard chunk plays. So
our linebackers are backing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our linebackers are backing up even on the run plays because they were playing 6-7 yards off the line of scrimmage and backing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if their strategy was to think, okay, Jalen Hurst is a young quarterback. Let's just take away, the big chunk plays and make him go 6, 8, 10 yards a chunk and hope he makes a mistake, which, okay, I can see that if it's like his first year, but he's kind of beyond hoping that he makes a mistake. Now, I get it. As we said earlier, the strength of this team is not the defense. It's the offense. So when you by and large look at, and now the second half, I don't care what anybody says. The Eagles could have put up 21 more points if they needed to.
Oh, they took their foot off the gas by far. Yeah.
But when I look at the first half for both sides, okay, Philly had 5 possessions. They got 3 touchdowns and they got 2 punts. And I'm taking away the field goal because that's on Kevin O'Connell. We can get back to that.
We will touch on
what
that.
The heck that was beyond.
Yeah, that was Mike Zimmer all the way. I mean, Zimmer left that note on his desk when he left.
And offensively, we have 5 possessions, and we had 1 touchdown and 4 3-and-outs. Okay, so number one, your offense can't have 4 3-and-outs in a game, much less a half. So
Right.
part of the reason I will say the defense maybe gets a slight pass is because the offense isn't keeping them off the field all that long. So yeah, we can talk all that stuff about the defense all we want, and I'm not trying to make this going back in circles to a certain number 8 that we've already discussed ad nauseum. But the point I'm making here is that if we're going to talk about this defense and how they got thoroughly smashed, part of all of it's all what we said: playing soft defense in the secondary, being on the field so daggone much. And I'll take this one back. One of those 4 3-and-outs was because Irv Smith dropped a touchdown. So we'll put an asterisk by one of them. But having said all that, I don't know what to make of this defense because I think they just had too many things going against them that it's hard for me to completely evaluate that game. I mean, what say you?
Yeah, man. I mean, what do you think, Dave? Go ahead.
I mean, the announcers in the game last night were drawing a big shell. Just a big shell the whole game. Every time, here's that shell again. Here's that shell again. It was the strategy of the game. I mean, I had told those Philly podcasters, I'm saying our defense has got to, rush 4, keep him in the pocket like we did Rodgers, and then hopefully get to him and make him get that second read. What I didn't expect was how soft we would play the entire game, and he had time in the pocket, and he had plenty of space to throw the ball. Yeah. It's like he was like, I don't know, 11 for 11 to start the game. Yeah. It's because his receivers were just so wide open because we played a defense that I never thought we would play, except for when Zimmer is wanting to give up a last-second touchdown to lose the game, where he plays that keep them in front of me defense. And that was what we had. We had the keep it in front of me defense the entire freaking game. And that is not why we signed, Donatel. That is not why we brought Donatel here to do was play a prevent defense the entire effing game. And that's not me talking. That was a Hall of Fame quarterback talking on the broadcast last night.
Yeah. So do we feel like, obviously we have to, and so we can touch on KOC. Justin brought up that timeout, man. That right there was such a rookie head coach move. I mean, it don't get more rookie than that. Right. Literally, like you couldn't have did anything else to show.
You've seen how bad your defense has been already, and you're going to try and call a timeout to give those guys another play.
So this was my thing. I was more looking forward. Well, not looking forward, but expecting week 1 to go like how last night went when it came to the play calling. That was one thing I was worried. I was like, I hope Kevin O'Connell, this is a big game, week 1, Packers. He wants to call the offense. I just hope that he can handle this, right? Being a rookie head coach, maybe pass some over to Wes Phillips, let him get involved, which I know he is involved. I'm sure they game plan together, obviously. But last night really showed like, bro, listen, how'd we go from all of these motions, moving JJ all over? I mean, we look like 2 totally different teams from one week to another. I mean, it was crazy. Like last night, there was no movie. Okay, explain.
They actually did pert near what they did against Green Bay. The difference is Philly didn't just sit there and let us go up and down the field the way Green Bay did. I watched it back, and what you're talking about with Troy Aikman, he's just like, Kirk, what are you doing? They have was when Jefferson came into the backfield and they sent him on a real route, and then he throws the screen pass to Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And
there was another play too where JJ was wide open in the middle of the field and he like kind of threw his hands up like, yo, what the fuck? Like, throw me the ball, man.
That was the play right before the interception where he gave up on the play.
He should have hit that.
Yeah, it was a slant. It was like 5 or 6 yards, but he was wide open and the middle was wide open. He has a chance to run in for a touchdown. And we threw it over to. And
I heard the announcer say something about Thielen being wide open on a corner.
I don't remember that play. I must have missed it. I don't.
It
remember
was early on. It was. I think it was it was either the first or second possession, and it was one of the. It was. I think it was the second one because Kirk was trying to hit Irv Smith, and it got broken up. Where if he had just waited a half more second, because Irv was clearing on a crossing route, and JJ and KJ were on the complete other side, that Adam Thielen had the entire sideline to him. And so it wouldn't have been like a pitch and catch throw, but it's Adam Thielen on the sideline versus Irv Smith in the middle of the field. Which one do you want to go with? I mean, let's call it for what it is.
Right. Things like that are going to happen. We don't expect him to make every single read, obviously. You know what I mean? But he did leave a lot of throws out there. And I mean, he even said that himself. And he saess that often when we will go with a loss. You know what I mean? And when it's his post game interviews, he says that a lot. Like I left a lot of throws out there. I guess you can call it politically correct, but he did though. Honestly, he left a lot of throws out there. But the pressure, and we're not going to get back on Kurt. But once he's the type of quarterback that once you hit him in the mouth a couple of times, or you're showing that you're bringing pressure, he's not that type of guy, man. It just is. I mean, we just have to admit and just know the facts. I mean, we just don't have that type of guy on our team. It's okay because we do have a guy that will bounce back though, and that's one thing we can take as a plus, as a positive. Like we know for sure that he will sit on this game. He's going to study this week and Sunday. 9 times out of 10 this Sunday, he will throw for 3 touchdowns, probably 400 yards. I mean, we've seen the story over and over again. Right. And then when we play Sunday night again, we know what to expect. Like, okay, we're playing Sunday night, bright lights, prime time. Okay, the chances of Kurt having a good game is probably not that high, but we can still win the game. I mean, but he's probably not going to ball out like he would on a Sunday at 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? Or 12 o'clock, wherever you're at. But, as far as back to the defense, though, like, I mean, and just Kevin O'Connell, like, I just think Kevin O'Connell should take a lot of this blame, though.
Absolutely.
Just with the play calling alone, man. I mean, the screen passes were horrible. You know what I mean? Like, why? How many screen passes did you see last night, Will? I seen like 6 of them. How'd you see, Dave? Because you rewatched it.
Well,
I think I seen like 6.
I left that game last night thinking, God, we must have thrown like 8. But it turns out like some of them were the correct read. It wasn't like they weren't screen passes. Like some of them weren't. I'm going to say that we had like
they were
4.
check down Charlies.
I think we had like 4. No, I mean, like Cook out in the flat, that was the perfect read, and he got like a 10-yard first down. So I mean, there was some good choices, but then there was like the Madison out on the right when Justin Jefferson beat his guy on the slant. That was a check down. Yeah.
Yes, Tuiva the Hope. He has. He has, man. That's your boy Dave. As our trusty Dave defended Kurt well this trip. Yes, he has, guys. All right.
I'm just not gonna crap on it. I mean, there was good throws, man. Look at those throws to Thielen late in the game. Those were pinpoint. That first
garbage time, Dave. Stop it before we argue. Stop it. See, he wants me to argue with him, like when he says things like that. Now you see what I go through.
The first drive of the game to Justin Jefferson. That was PI on Slay.
So, like, how can we play? So you're gonna get us started. How can you walk away from a game like that and say, "Oh,
you can't say someone's had a good throw"?
Like, because
you can't say a guy has a good throw.
Bro. He played bad, bro.
That was tight ass coverage on Thielen.
He played horrible, Dave. He played horrible.
I will say that Slay
made
it was. Don't talk about Slay. Plays. It was Cousins the whole time.
Yeah,
Slay
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he had 2 good plays on Justin Jefferson. He only had 2 good plays, but I think that Justin Jefferson could. I think Justin Jefferson would have torched him.
Yeah.
All game if Kirk was spot on.
Yeah.
I think that's a little too harsh. I think that's a little too harsh. To Dave's point, I mean, again, just like last week on the Packers' first possession where they completely burned Patrick Peterson. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that, well, if they connect on that play and it's a touchdown, that, the Packers win this game now. What I'm saying is that it changes the complexion. And we had the same thing this day. If Irv Smith catches that, I'm not saying that they win, but it puts them in a much better position to at least try to be competitive again.
Right.
Listen,
what happened on that play too? You got smoked.
Yeah, but the thing is that, but then we go to this. Let's say we score that touchdown, and then the game comes down to the last drive, and we're down by 6 points. Let's say, and Kirk Cousins has to go down the field 80 yards to get us a touchdown. I mean, are you comfortable on a Monday night? Are you really comfortable looking at the history of Kirk Cousins taking us down the field to win us that game on a Monday night?
I'm talking about actual plays that are happening in the game.
I'm not. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not.
I'm just talking about actual plays that happened in the game, and you're saying that the Philly went into like a prevent defense in the third and fourth quarter.
Man, it was goddamn garbage time, man.
They were
Come
blitzing
on, man.
6. They were
Zero
blitzing
calorie
6.
stats, bro. You're trying to.
I'm not even
say
talking
Kirk
about
Cousins
stats.
had
I'm
a
talking about
decent
specific
game
throws.
when Adam
This is
Thielen
why I knew what would
had,
happen, man.
Adam Thielen had
you
50-something yards.
You compliment a couple throws. You compliment a couple throws, and it gets into this. Hey, there was good throws in that game. There was bad throws in that game, and I've called them both out.
The only good throw was Irv
I called them both out. I talked
every other throw was a throw of every quarterback in the NFL should be, every starting quarterback in the NFL should be able to make. Now, the Irv Smith throw, that was a good throw. I give him that. He stood in there. That shit was in the basket. Irv Smith messed that all the way up. But every other throw, you acting like he did something spectacular. I mean, it's the fourth quarter. They're playing back on defense, like they're running hitch routes, and Kurt's putting the ball, giving the ball to him. I mean, come on, man! Like you acting like those throws are spectacular or something. Like he had 50 yards receiving, bro.
How about I play this? I'll say this.
Those throws to Thielen are pretty good.
I'll play referee, and then I'm gonna tap out for the rest of the night here. I'm gonna say it like this. This is what I mean when I say that Kirk Cousins is so polarizing, because is he better than outside of Brett Favre? You have to go all the way back to Dante. I mean, you can name 17 quarterbacks that have played for the. Of course, Kirk Cousins is better than all of them. That's not even the point. The point is, yes, when he plays lesser competition or when he plays at noon, he's a completely different guy than when he is on primetime or in the playoffs against playoff teams.
Nah, so, those records don't matter, Justin. They don't matter. Those are just numbers that people put together. Those don't matter.
That's another thing that's another thing that could be in another entire show. But I guess what I'm saying is that there have been times where, you know what he is? He's the ultimate tease.
Tell the truth, Justin, man. I'm tired of you being around the bush, man. How do you feel about Kirk Cousins?
He's a tease.
How do you feel truly about Kirk Cousins? I want to hear it.
How I feel truly about him?
We're on SKOL'd Live, man. Tell us, do you want to keep him or you want to move on? Tell the truth.
Oh, I wanted to move on 2 years ago. Just to be real.
There's only one guy on this show that called for him to be MVP.
That's
only one guy.
I'll say it like this. No. To your point, when they signed him, here's what the problem is. The Vikings pumped him up so much when we signed him that they probably put unfair expectations on him that when you tell us that, we have everything and we just need to upgrade from Case Keenum to Kirk Cousins and we're going to go right back to the NC Championship game or maybe even the Super Bowl and blah, 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 blah. You put all those expectations, you can't be surprised that when those expectations are not lived up to, that people are going to question it. Now, is that all his fault? No. But
it's never his fault. It's never his fault.
There's that. But jokes
it's
aside,
never him, man.
When they walked off the field against San Francisco, which was Stephon Diggs' last game before we traded him, that window was closed right then and there. And one of the things the Vikings did sell on us on Kirk Cousins is, we've only signed him for 3 years. So if it doesn't work after a couple of years, we're not locked in for 5 or 6 years. Yeah. That's when they should have said, okay, this window is closed. But what did they do? They said, nope, we're going to keep running it back and running it back. The last 2 years, they ran it back for 7-9 and 7-9. So is that all on Kirk? No. But I'll say again, he is a product of what's around him. If you're expecting him to take a 7-win team and elevate it to an 11-win team, he's just not going to do it.
Now, I do have a question for you, Justin.
Real quick,
do you think that, let's say we did get rid of Cousins this offseason, Justin Jefferson would be on our team next year or 2 years from now?
Why not?
I think the opportunity.
Diggs left.
Well,
JJ might leave too. Diggs left with Kirk Cousins.
Right.
I mean, would you stick around for a rookie quarterback or
I think that's a very good
Carson Wentz or a Garoppolo, or just would he stay?
Bro, you got to make a move. Point. So you're pretty much saying like Justin, we're only going to have Justin Jefferson as long as Kirk Cousins. So once Kirk Cousins decides to go,
I'm saying that if he gets a guy that has to. I mean, there's Cincinnati.
Well, there's better guys than Kirk Cousins.
There's Cincinnati over there with his 2 college buddies. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, everybody was saying that, hey, if we get rid, it'll solve everything, and we get rid of Cousins and rebuild. But Justin Jefferson's gonna stay while we're rebuilding. I
think to answer your question,
that is crazy talk.
Well, you've got some points there. The opportunity to do that was this past off season. Justin, you've got, and he's not just my favorite guy on the team because he's got the same name as me. Let's just be clear on that. But jokes aside, you could have gone to Justin Jefferson and say, hey, I know that you have gotten all the stats you've got from this guy, but let's be honest. Do you really think that this guy has what it takes to win a championship?
And he's going to say absolutely not.
Exactly. So
he's going to say absolutely not.
You're right that at this particular point in time, you're kind of in no man's land because you don't want to just tear.
It's going to be simple. It's going to be Justin. Do you want a Super Bowl or do you want to just have stats? Which one's important to you?
My point is that the time to do it was this past off season when he had 1 year left to say, all right, we're going to trade him for assets, not extending him for another year on top of that. So now, but here's the thing. You have to move off Kirk Cousins because Justin Jefferson's going to get a ridiculous contract.
Oh, yeah. It's going to
and then you're not going to have any money to do anything else if you got both of those players on those kind of contracts.
It's going to get sticky soon regardless by nature, yeah.
Should have gave him to the 49ers, man.
Should have gave who? Oh, Kirk Cousins?
Kirk.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm going to say this, and I know this is going to be controversial.
Come on. You know we like that controversial shit, man. Don't get Dave mad over there, man. You know he already shaking in his boots over there.
I feel like Christian Ponder was better.
Oh, shit, no. Man, I'm about to delete you off this fucking chat. You say something like that again, boy. You say something again, I will
say this. No. But do you remember those top? No, listen to this, though. He was better when he had Adrian Peterson on his side.
Super well. Listen. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I don't think you ain't no.
He's been to more playoff games than Kirk.
You ain't gonna convince me. You ain't gonna convince nobody in this chat. None of us on this stream.
He's been to 2. I will say this: Kirk's been to 2, and I think Christian Ponder's been to 1.
Hey, well, please get that out of your dictionary. Please take that. Please take that out of your dictionary.
And Ponder didn't even play in that game.
You're right.
He got hurt and didn't even play in the playoff game.
He did get hurt, but still,
he didn't even play in the playoff game.
It was Joe Webb, innit?
That year though. He was good. He was pretty good that year.
He was
I will say that.
It had something to do with 2,000 yards and a hell.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, but I ain't gonna lie. Will, stand on your take, bro. Hey, word. You think?
That's what I'm saying. He did very well. He managed the game and things like that. Got us there. He got hurt. Joe Webb came into the game.
But this is the thing. Well, this is the thing. Well, it don't matter if you make it to the Super Bowl or not with a certain quarterback. None of that matters. None of that matters.
I get that.
It's about how many yards. But he might have made it to the Super Bowl. But how many yards did he have?
But at least he managed the game. He did not turn the ball over and everything. That
Justin,
was the good part about it.
Justin, before you tap out, Justin, go ahead. I know you want to eat
56 yards passing in a game once. He played the whole game. He got 56 yards passing. This is what I'm talking about. I say Thielen. He made a good throw to Thielen. I get laughed off the stage. He says Ponder's better than Cousins.
And we laughed him off
he's
the
actually,
stage.
he's actually entertaining that idea.
Dave, I almost deleted him off the stage.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment, Dave.
It is. You made me laugh, man.
That's all I'm doing. I'm just throwing entertainment out there.
Hey, Dave, literally, I almost hit remove, bro. Like, I had his name highlighted with the remove. Trust me, it was happening. It was happening.
All it is entertainment and everything. That's all that is. And I'm here for entertainment. That's all I.
That was a good take. That was a good take to switch it up and get us started, though, man.
It's fun though.
Joe Webb's is top 10
Joe Webb, my boy. Yeah, Joe Webb.
Joe Webb's is top 10 quarterback. So
don't feel bad.
Hey, man, Joe Webb.
Joe Webb's still in the league. I think he was in the league last year.
Still in the league. Last year. I think last year, or the year before was like he's done. I think.
See, you gotta be good to be in the league that long. I told y'all Joe Webb was different. Man.
Too evil to hope. Samantha Ponder was better QB than Christian. Samantha Ponder was. That's how they met. Was on game day, man.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, like Christian Ponder, bro, like never. No,
He did. I will say this. He managed the game very well.
Yeah, he was a game manager.
That was the only thing about him. And
But
when
those were
Adrian
some dark
Peterson,
years, Will, man. Those were some dark years, though.
yeah.
There, though, now.
And, you know, when Peterson was on, he was going at it. He was like, okay. But when Peterson did not carry the ball good enough, he would throw the ball very well sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that was the good thing about him. He managed the game. He done pretty well some of the games.
Yeah.
And we got to the playoffs. He got hurt. Couldn't play in the playoff game.
All right, so we'll do this. We'll do this real quick, Will, man, to move on from this, all right, before this show ends, because we've been on an hour and 4 minutes. We actually just got carried away.
We need to change the thumbnail to the Kirk Cousins hour.
Yeah, we got carried away. We do, man, because I mean, we got to talk about him, man. It is what it is. I actually enjoy talking. He's the best player to talk about, honestly.
We agreed on 20 minutes of the game, and then we were going to move on to Detroit. Here we were, hour and 5 minutes in of last.
Hey, but
and now we're talking about Christian Ponder.
Yeah, no, we can't talk about Christian Ponder no more.
No,
we definitely.
I'm actually
pulling up his.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
I'm actually pulling him up and looking him up.
Yeah, but no. So and like Dave said earlier, we all pretty much had this as a loss on our schedule, right? And from what I remember, I mean, even when
I said the same thing.
Yeah, like Will being over at Purple Pocket Podcast when we do our lives, most people were saying the Eagles were going to be an L. I remember the L's dropping in the chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, we can't be surprised that the way we lost might hurt us a little bit. You know, it would have been different if we lost 21-24 and, you know, we lost by a field goal, you know, last second field goal or something, and we played a good game. But, you know, it's like the way we lost might sting a little bit. But guess what? This is what we're going to do. We're shutting the door right now on that. All right. That game's over with. We won't remember about that game by week 4. We're going to be in London week 4. That's going to be fun. But let's talk about the Lions. And do we believe this game is as easy as we expect? Because I know for sure everybody had a sweep in the Lions.
No.
Everybody had a sweep in the Lions. I know that for sure. What's up, Carson, in the building? Are we still feeling the same way?
I don't think so, to be honest, because St. Brown, he different.
He balling.
He different. And then the line, man, that coach is more amped up.
I love
than
man
KO.
Campbell, man. Yeah,
he's more amped up than KO is.
Yeah.
Even though we love KO.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
so far.
Yeah, but right now, I'm telling you, man, he's different, dude. That whole team is different. Like, they not losing to nobody by a big margin. They're not doing that.
Yeah, you're pretty much saying like they're gonna be in every game this season.
Exactly.
Okay.
And my thing is, man, that I fear them now because of that.
Right.
And I know this is not the team we talk about, but the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills.
The Bills on another level. Revenge game. This is revenge. He probably gonna score like 200, almost 300 yards on us.
Facts, and that don't even sound crazy. That don't even sound crazy the way they balling right now. I mean, they just making this shit look too easy out there.
Diggs won me my fantasy league, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, literally, man. Like, not to speak on the Bills since you brought them up, though, they're making the game of NFL look super easy right now. At least 2 weeks in. I mean, 2 weeks in, I mean, they're literally stomping on shit. They stomped on who? Because the first game they played the Rams, right?
In LA.
I mean, straight mollywopped them, and then they played the Titans, and I mean,
like a junior high team out there.
Like, bro,
how many yards did Stephon Diggs have, Dave?
I mean, I don't know, man, but he was.
I don't know. He scored 3 touchdowns.
He was dominating, man.
I got
he's definitely setting a statement.
38 points.
Sure. You know,
and this is a revenge. It's gonna be a revenge game, and he ain't gonna play. He gonna be like,
and this is the thing. We ain't gonna backtrack, but man, I can't wait until we get a guy like that, though. That will be fun to get a guy like Josh Allen. I know they don't come all the time, but just imagine, because I just can't wait till we get our guy that we'll have for 15 years. You know, now Kurt's held us down for going. This is the 5th season, right? I think this is the 5th season.
Right.
But imagine when we actually get that guy that we all know, and there's no split fan base, and everybody's together and saying, boy, we got our fucking guy for the next 10 years, bro. And we're going to be having games like this Sundays, and and those teams also get beat. So this is a good point. This will make people feel good right here that I seen on Purple Daily.
Right.
They were talking about last year. Last year, if you remember, the Bills got mollywopped twice, and they were good last year like they are now. They got beat on their home field by the Patriots that threw the ball damn near twice, I believe, that game. They like Mac Jones had like 3 pass attempts. They ran and just dominated them. And then the Colts beat them 41-14, I believe it was. It's up in that range, like 40-something to 14 on their home. And
did they have what quarterback was it? Because I know Carson Wentz was like hurt or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure, but that just I'm saying that to say this is relax, Vikings Nation. You know what I'm saying? Listen, good teams get beat every once in a while, man. I mean, we do, and at the end of the day. We played 2 teams back to back that are considered to be at the top of the NFC going into the season. I mean, before the season started, for one, everybody had the Eagles as a contender this year, and then obviously the Packers are always a contender. I mean, we won and won. We beat one, we lost the one, and I rather it be the way it is now. I rather us have the win against Green Bay and lose against the Eagles rather than vice versa, because it's a division game. You know what I mean? So. We got a chance. We can sweep the Packers.
I believe the kids say no cap.
Yeah, no cap. You know what I'm saying? No cap. Like the way it's played out, relax. It's good. You know what I mean? Like at least we beat our division rivals and we lost to an NFC team. But at the end of the day, is it going to really matter at the end when we start trying to get into the playoffs? Not as much as the Green Bay game. So we won the more important game out of the 2, just to sum it up. And we got to be okay with that. You know what I mean? And I look forward, but speaking on the Lions, and then we'll let Dave go ahead and say what he got to say. The Lions scare me too, man. Now, and I know y'all remember when we were doing the rankings, I had them as the 3rd team in the NFC North. I said they're going to be better than the Bears. It's just something about them that I just felt like, like the Lions, man. And it's crazy. People were laughing at me when I said, hey, I even think the Lions might beat the Packers. I had us 1, maybe the Lions even squeaking 2. And people were like, well, you tripping the line. But listen, man, like you said, Will, they're coaching. He's changing the culture, bro. He really is. He's changing the culture. People want to play for him. And they have the talent, too. Now, Jared Goff, I feel like they're going to have to find their guy eventually. But if Jared Goff tends the ball out this year and stay consistent, he will get a contract. He'll get a contract
right now.
So but yeah, man, as far as going into the game though, I think it's gonna be a tough game, man. I'm not as hype as I was. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a fucking nail biter, man, if I gotta call it. You feel me?
And if we lose, I'm gonna tell you something. We probably gonna be last in the division. Yeah. I'm letting you know that right now. Because
what you think? What you think, Dave, when we go into the Lions game, man? You think it's gonna be a nail biter, or you think we're gonna, normally how we do pretty much beat the Lions? I mean, they beat us last year, but usually we're stomping them.
I mean, they had the MO last year playing everybody tough, coming back on teams. They did against Philly. Both their games so far have been at home. The thing that scares me the most about the Lions is their running game. It is for real. If I'm not mistaken, people consider them to have as good offensive line as the Eagles did. The Eagles manhandled us, but I do believe that we did not attack in any form or fashion with our linebackers. We were backpedaling on running plays. I'm just wondering where the hell that was coming from. I guess they ran some draws on us, and that's probably what happened. But that running games are for real. Even St. Brown led them in rushing. He had 2 carries for 68 yards. Goff had 4 touchdowns. Now, I did watch a little bit of that game because I was interested in it. Goff is not all that accurate of a passer.
Yeah.
He's not all that accurate of a passer, and he was missing people. And I think if anybody we should go after this game, it would be this one. It'd be go after him. That blitzing will also help the run defense. I just think we need to go after him. I liked our game plan against the Packers of trying to keep Rodgers from getting out of the pocket and making a play. But with this one, I want us to go at him, 5 guys don't know where he's coming from. I want to see that. I like the stunning we have been doing these past 2 games. I think that will help, but I think we need to bring a linebacker.
Man, that's why I wish we had Anthony Barr, because he was good at that. Like, he was good at rushing. Like,
but we didn't use him though. We didn't use him right though. He was good at that, but we didn't use him.
Well, I mean, Kendricks had 5 sacks last year, and there was a year that Hicks had 5 in his past. And I'm not on the train that we got these guys in our defense have 1 foot in the grade.
Right.
I just think as a big because I didn't see that the first game. So I just thought the difference in play where we were backpedaling, you don't run fast backwards.
You don't.
So I think we're gonna have Zadarius and Danielle Hunter are our linebackers, right? I think we'll mix them up, but in the stunning is work. But yeah, you can bring a Jordan Hicks, and you can bring bring Kendricks on. Those guys can rush the passer, I think, as good as Barr could. Or
right.
Close.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But at least they could have had like 5 rushers. You know what I'm saying? They could change it up, right? And still have those 3 rushing the passer. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say that.
And then we got Wanham having 2 decent games in a row, man.
Right.
I thought he had 2 really good decent games in a row.
Yeah, man. Shout out DJ Wanham, man.
Yeah,
right.
Probably.
I feel like it's just all about rotation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not only that, they could have had that linebacker from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
like,
Asamoah.
He's like fast. Mm-hmm. Like, have him like watch Jalen. Like, he can watch him, and he's not going to get past him. But
I think we're gonna really need him in the Miami game for sure.
Because of his speed, man.
Yeah, I mean, Miami game, man, not to jump forward, but because we're gonna cross those bridges when we get there. But man, that game's looking like it's gonna be almost similar to the Bills game. I mean, honestly, it's just looking like it's gonna be one of those, and it's not because our offense is like y'all said, it's because our defense is. Those matchups are gonna be pretty tough, boy. I ain't gonna lie, them gonna be some pretty hard matchups.
Our corners and safeties is weak right now.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to match up against, man. I ain't going to lie. They really are going to be hard to match up against. I mean, it's just the reality, bro. Tua throwing for almost 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, come on, bro.
He different, man. He different this year.
And he came back from a 21-point deficit. I think they were getting dragged.
Yeah. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Because last year he did that. Tua did that last year.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, Tua's not going to be good this year. He's not going to throw the ball. Oh, you see those last 2 games?
Yeah, he definitely showing the people, man, like, hey, don't sleep on me, man. But yeah, man, I mean, look, man, the Lions, I'm a little worried about them, but I still think we're going to squeak it. And I'm riding this week saying we're going to win. I'm just not going to be as confident as I was last week, man. I went super hard for the Vikings against the Eagles, man, and I got put in my motherfucking place, man. I gotta admit it.
I imagine if we win, I imagine it would have to be a pretty close game, and but the one, it's so much better to play at home, and we are playing probably, at home, if not the best or close to the best or loudest home stadium in the league. I mean, that place is loud as shit. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. It's just breaks
I sent you videos, Dave.
You said you went to a game. Yeah.
The worst part is they always set us up that way. Like we gotta go play in Philly. Like we lost the playoff game in Philly.
It's like we always had to play in Seattle.
Yeah,
we actually lost that playoff game at home.
Yeah, we lost that playoff game at home because we were the number 1.
No, it was at Philly.
No, it was at Philly. You're right. Yeah, because they were wearing the dog mask.
Different game. Sorry, I was thinking of a different game.
Mask. Yeah, they were wearing the dog mask.
Yeah, my bad. Stupid. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's crazy we set up like that, and I'm like, come on, Kevin. Come on, Kev.
Tiebreaker too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Again,
I remember that year them wearing them damn dog masks and shit.
Man,
that pissed me off.
They always get.
I remember Philly beating. I remember Philly wiping the floor with us with Tavares, when we had Tavares Jackson.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's when that's that playoff game when he Peterson broke, and Brian Dawkins had grabbed him from behind, grabbed his shoulder or something like that.
Yeah.
And and we was playing against Donovan McNabb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game.
All right, before we get out of here, man, we're gonna go around the table and we're gonna give, because me and Dave we're gonna be dropping content this week on the Detroit game, obviously. So we don't want to give away all the sauce.
For sure.
But we'll all give away one key thing that needs to happen to win Sunday's game against Detroit. All right, so we'll start with you, Will, just so you can go ahead, and then I'm gonna get you off the stream so me and Dave can close out the show.
That's a bet.
So what's the one man key, Will, for Sunday for the Vikings to win this game, regardless if we win by 1 point, 2 points, or 30 points? What's the key?
Stop Swift. For sure.
Swift.
They have to stop him, because once they stop him, Jared Goff is not doing nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Stopping Swift. So putting Swift down on the behind, man, making sure he not getting these long runs. Yeah, because the past 2 weeks he damn near had a couple of nice runs, but he was
5 carries for 56 yards. One of them was 50. So
yeah,
we need to not give up that chunk.
Give up that chunk run.
And St. Brown had a 58-yard run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Will, man. That's a good take, man. And hey, look, Will, appreciate you tapping in with us tonight, man. Hey, we're gonna be on the home channel all week, man, talking up until we get to this Detroit Lions game, man. So make sure you tap in with us, man, and reach out to me for sure. We'll get you on there, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Holla at you. Yeah. So we got So Dave, what's the key? What's the one man key, man, that you think we got to do to win this Sunday, man? Because we got to make something happen, bro. We got to bounce back. Is it a must win? Do you think this is a must win game?
Well, I feel that about almost every freaking NFL game. It's not a must win because we had plenty of time to make up for a loss, but I would think that we need to win our home games. And we need to win them inside the division, because if we lose, that just makes Lions a instant playoff contender with a tiebreaker on us. Yeah. So us beating the Packers helps. Us beating the Lions definitely going to help. I had us going 5-6 in the division. We have, I believe, just as good a team as the Lions. I don't think we've opened that playbook up quite yet. We gotta keep these freaking chunk plays. I'm looking at
you said you had us going 5-6 in the division?
5 out of 6, so 5-1 in the division. Okay. So my bad, I said that wrong. But 5-1 in the division, losing to the Packers on the road late in the season. That was the loss that I had us having. But Lions look a lot more explosive. I'm looking at chunk plays are 20 yards or more. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays, 2 of them for over 50, 1 for 49. It's huge plays. And I believe if you don't give Goff any time, and that's what I'm saying, we need to bring people. They have a good enough offensive line to keep us at bay, and they have a good enough offensive line to run on us. Another 191 yards running. That's 2 games with over 180. That's insane. We got to stop the run, but getting after Goff, making it, sacking him, making it third and 15, things like that. We need to make that happen because he's not that accurate of a quarterback. And just like I said, Hurts is one read and run. All of a sudden, Goff will go 50 for 50 or something.
I know, right? But you know what? That's the old Vikings, man. Like I'm trying to just have good vibes on, like, you know what? That's the old us, man. We're a new team now. So this is my
I like us at home, man. I like
us at home for sure. I always feel good when we're playing at home. I just think our crowd helps us out a lot. My main key to victory is Kirk Cousins needs to be pissed off. You feel me? And I love it when he goes out there, because he will make the Lions pay. It's unfortunate that the Lions are the team that have to be in the way, because I feel like he's going to go out there and ball out. He's going to get right back to where we need to be. I'm calling it. He's throwing 4 TDs on Sunday. I'm putting a bold prediction on him now. He will have 300 plus yards on the over. So 300, I'm taking the over, and he will have 4 touches. Like, that's just what's happening, man. You feel me? He will have 4 touches. I think that's the key to victory, because definitely he's very important to this team. As far as this team's gonna go, this team's gonna go as far as he can take us. And I think he's definitely going to bounce back on Sunday. I mean, history says it. And I have faith in that. And then I can get back on my Kurt MVP train, man. You know, because if he has another game like he did last night, then God damn it, I'm going to have to like go delete my videos and shit, act like I never said it. I hope nobody screen recorded me. But but nah, that's my main key, man. And I'm gonna love to see it. You know, that's gonna be a great Sunday, watching us throw the ball around the yard in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, get Adam Thielen again. I even think, I mean, I'm saying he's gonna throw 4 touches. I can see maybe Irv Smith bouncing back on a longer one, not just like an easy walk-in one like he had last night, but more of a, you know, bounce back, because they're gonna keep going to Irv. Regardless if he dropped that or not,
I think
they're gonna keep going to him.
I think he looked good the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He had a couple first downs that he made happen.
Yeah.
He's athletic, man.
And we got to remember too, he hasn't played football in about 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
No
so
shit,
I mean,
man.
Like, at the end of the day,
I'm giving Irv Smith
Jr.
need to be
dropping those. Yeah, you don't need to be dropping those, bro. But I mean, come on now. You know, we'll give you a pass only because
we probably lose the game even if you catch that. Just for how our defense was playing that shell the whole game. But yeah, Irv Smith's going to be a big part of us winning or losing this year.
I think so.
I thought he looked pretty strong. He had like 5 catches, but
they're working him, and you can see they're working him in. Like, the coaching is doing a really good job at just like kind of easing them in there. Like, instead of just throwing them in there, they're you know, splitting time with Mont, letting Mont go out there, giving them breaks, making sure they're working them in slow. Because again, he hasn't played football for about 2 years, and then he hurt his thumb this offseason. So, you know, I mean, Irv Smith got to it might take a couple weeks, man, to get in there, man. I say by week 5 or by the bye week, man, he'll be 100% full-fledged. Hopefully we get the Irv Smith we all been waiting for, because I want to see it happen, man.
I'm thinking he's gonna make a big difference in this next game.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm gonna do my bold predictions on our page, man. First of all, man, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast, man. Appreciate everybody that was tapped in. Y'all go subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast on YouTube, man. That's my channel. And Dave, go ahead, tell them where to hit you at.
Minnesota Sports Talk, the most generic name in YouTube. Minnesota Sports Talk.
For sure, man. Listen, me and Dave, we go live over there on my channel a couple times a week. Now, last week was
you were too busy cheating on me.
Yeah, last week was a little bit unorthodox, only because I had so many Eagles content creators reach out to me, man. Shout out to the Eagles content creators, man. They had me busy. I mean, I was doing lives every night from the moment I walked through my door. It seemed like I had something scheduled. Never again. But shout out to them, though, man. I'm keeping it now to 2 content creators at most. So if you're a Lions content creator and you want to work, I'm doing 2 at the most. You feel me? I promise you, I will deny the rest.
And I'm actually going back into the Lions Den tomorrow, and I'm going to do a 20-minute segment with Philly.
Have fun.
I'm doing 20 minutes. I'm doing a 20-minute segment with the Philly broadcast. So we were on the game last night.
Yeah, I'm done with Philly. Philly's out of it. Philly in my past, man. I did enough Philly content, man. I'm done. I mean, they trying to hold on to me to the very end. Goddamn, I'm done. I'm moving on to the Lions now. And we're going to make it happen, y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all drop y'all score predictions in the chat and let us know what y'all thinking, man. We appreciate y'all tapping in tonight. Hey, appreciate Super Will in the building, man. Justin that tapped in with us, man. We had a great show. Appreciate y'all.
Able to hope, turn that smile upside down, or that frown upside down, man. I mean, I read your comments. I just wasn't going to reply back.
There you go. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
All right, thanks.
Oops, hold on, real quick, man. Before we go, hold on, real quick, man. I gotta play our thing one more time, man, because we ain't see it in a minute. Let me just see it. Peace out.